there. This is Real Talk Baseball and Carlos Baseball. With me, as always, is Ernie Orange, and we have a great show for you guys today before the Japan series, which includes the Dodgers and the Cubs. But before we get into that stuff, how's it going, Ernie?
Hey, we're doing great out here in LA. It was a nice, beautiful day, and we're ready to talk baseball. We're basically less than almost 24 hours away from baseball. It's really exciting. Can't wait to see the Dodgers and see if they could repeat again for 2025 MLB season.
Dude, before we get started, did you see the game yesterday at 8 p.m.?
I did. I watched a little bit of it. It was pretty interesting to see how many fans there were out there. It was good to see Tokyo Dome excited for baseball.
Dude, I've never seen a team or fans not be loud when the home team is doing their thing, when the pitcher's out there. I don't know if you saw that, but it was super quiet. And once the visiting team went out there, it got loud. It got, the band started playing, started, singing and all these things. So that's different. It was really different. So I got to see that yesterday. I got to experience that. So it's crazy to me how different fan bases are around the world, which is exciting. We're going to get to see the Cubs and Dodgers later on. So our pretty much our show is about the Dodgers and Cubs opening the series out there. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Rafael Devers. It's kind of crazy what's going out there. We'll try to translate what really happens because the translator kind of left some words out that Devers said. So lucky for you, we speak Spanish and we can translate that. And then we'll talk about the Rays. The Rays are not going to have a new ballpark, and we'll talk about where are they going to play until that happens. And then the new hats, you guys have heard, the new hats wasn't a success, and they had to remove them out of the shelves. But we'll talk about them, of course. And then the Nashville Stars. If you don't know who they are, we'll talk about that too. That could be an expansion team in the near future for MLB, and we'll talk about other teams that might be able to be included in the MLB. Maybe 2026, 2028. We will see what happens. But let's get started, man. Japan series, Dodgers, Cubs. Are you excited for that?
I think I am. At first I used to be against them playing a week early to start the season, but seeing the amount of fans and being all how big the game has globally grown, it's exciting. Just yesterday we got to see a couple exhibition games over the weekend and able to see how big this Japanese impact has for the MLB. This is the first time we're talking about almost 5 stars of Japanese descent are going to be playing in this series. So that's something special. We're going to see Shota Imanaga, Roki Sasaki, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. It's the three top pitchers right now for the game of baseball, and there's a lot to see.
Yeah, it's a lot to see, and not only that, but there's going to be a lot of people on it. And tomorrow, I'll go ahead and put the video, but tomorrow, if you are into Fortnite, you're going to be able to get Otani and Decoy, be part of the Fortnite experience and buy that place or whatever you young people call them right now. I know they call them, what do you call it? What is it called? Faces. I don't know, man. I'm not into that right now. So
what?
If you have
neither am I, man. We're going to need the Fortnite experts to teach us a little bit of Fortnite out there. It's exciting to see how big the game has globally grown. Shohei has been one of the first people to be in Fortnite and the MLB. That's pretty exciting. You have two options to buy this bundle. You could either get Shohei in the Dodger uniform with Decoy, or you could get Shohei Otani on a samurai outfit. Which one will you choose?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if I have $20 to spend on that.
That's the thing. We don't know how much it's going to cost yet. It's going to be announced tomorrow, and I guess there's certain things you have to do in the game in order to be able to achieve these coins, which is pretty interesting.
It is interesting, and I already have my kids asking me, can I go ahead and get Otani? My daughter's all into she really likes Otani, so she's kind of like, can I go ahead and get a Fortnite account so I can get Otani? And then my Caesar, my middle one, he's like, can I get it too? And then of course my old one's like, if they get it, how come I can't get it? So it's like, come on, are you serious?
If this is about to be expensive for you.
Exactly. So if it's $20, it's gonna be 60. So so it's gonna be crazy, dude. But let's get into the matchups, man. The matchups is going to be kind of wild. I think it's going to be amazing to see Yamamoto and, Imanaga go head to head in Japan. Of course, Imanaga, we talked about this. He had a great start last season. He went 8-0 to start the season. And Yamamoto, I know he had a rough start when he pitched last year against the Padres. And dude, I think this is going to be perfect. It's going to grow the game a lot more. I think it's just going to be one of who's going to be the home team. By the way, is it the Cubs?
I think so. Yeah,
The
according to the
Cubs are
way it
the home
looks here
team.
on the schedule, yeah, Cubs are the home team.
They're the ones in the bottom, so they should be the home team. So you think they're going to respect that home team advantage where they're quiet for their home team and they're loud for the for the visiting team?
That's true, man. Can you, yes, it's an interesting one because this is a Cubs team that has been asked why are they even there. A lot of fans don't know that the Cubs actually have two Japanese stars in their lineup. You
Yeah,
know, you have Shota Imanaga, like you said, was potential rookie of the year last year. He's a 30-year-old veteran from the MPB league, and he proved that he has some nasty stuff in the MLB. Now you have Seiya Suzuki. Sorry about that.
yeah,
He
you're
had
good.
a rough start to his career with the Cubs, but he's proven time and time again that when healthy, he could put, so you know, he could get some nice hits out there. So it's a Dodger team that has a lot of power right now. They're the champions, right? And they added even more star players to their rotation. And you ask yourself, how are they able to acquire all these players? And it's the number one team right now in MLB, the team that's spending the most money and is generating the most money for MLB too. So this is great for the game of baseball. And I'm not sure about you, but I think I'm gonna wake up for 3 a.m. I think I'm
Are
just
you?
gonna have to stay
Bite the
up
bullet.
and stay up the whole night.
You're gonna have to bite the bullet and wake up super early, dude. Because I don't know if I can go ahead and do that. I think it's just too early for me. I know Neto's saying Hunting Tigers both. I mean, they beat the Dodgers and the Cubs. That's why we saw the game yesterday at 8 p.m. We got to experience that Japanese fan base, which is really cool. We were talking about Decoy and Shohei OHTANI and Fortnite. It's called skins. That's what they're
Skins.
called. Skins.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I mean, I think I did, but it gets lost because I'm not a gamer like that. So if you are a gamer, I'm pretty sure you're looking out for that. And I don't know what Neto's putting on there. I really don't know how to say Konnichiwa. I think I can say that. So, dude, it's gonna be amazing. I think growing the game of baseball is something that we look forward to. I guess as baseball fans and as people that enjoy the game and enjoy that they're playing somewhere else. I think this is cool. For an average fan, I think they're kind of saying, I don't want to see the Dodgers play out there because I'm not going to be able to see opening day. Opening day is still happening out here in the United States. Opening day is going to happen regularly, but it's just you need to try to expand the game, try to hit that market, try to grow the game in the world. Remember, we got the WBC coming up in 2026 next year, and we need to grow the game to where we're excited about it all the time. So, I mean, these pitching matchups, I think we're looking forward to game number two, where we get to see Sasaki. Am I wrong?
Oh man, that's the most exciting one. Game two, Roki Sasaki. Is he the
Yeah,
real deal? We saw it in
yeah,
the WBC last year. He was throwing 100 plus a fastball, and he showed that he has potential. It was one of the best pickups the Dodgers could have had all off season. So it's exciting. The talent in Japan, it's amazing, Carlos. The
yeah,
amount of these players you saw yesterday's exhibition games, the Hanshin Tigers and the Yomori Giants, they have talent. All those guys could potentially be playing in the MLB. It
yeah.
just happens that they're stuck there based on this rule. They're forced to stay in Japan for 8 to 9 years once they get drafted. So they're stuck. And this is a scenario where Roki Sasaki has to forfeit a bunch of money and go in as an international signing to get paid really less money. But if you really want to go to the MLB, you're missing out on all the big paydays. So it's unfortunate. That's what happens. Shohei, Roki Sasaki. And I think that's why we're seeing a trend. I think these Japanese players are going to start coming to the States even earlier when they're in
Yeah,
college. And
true.
I'm not sure this guy's name, but he's in Stanford. He decided to come to school over here and play baseball. That way he could just go straight to the MLB after college. What are your thoughts
That's
on
true.
that?
That's crazy, dude. I just feel like, uh, how can I say it? 9 years before they could come to the United States, it's a long time. 9 years is it's a lot of things can happen. You can get hurt. You can get sidetracked. You can get to a point where your arm is not the same if you're a pitcher. If you're a hitter, it's different. You can go ahead and go through those slumps, and hitting is never guaranteed. Whether you're in Japan, whether you're in the United States, it changes because every year there's new pitchers coming up to the league and they're studying the way you're hitting. So you need to get ahead of these hitters. You need to get ahead of these pitchers. So I think it's crazy to me that 9 years is it's just a long time, but it is what it is. I mean, we're excited for it. Um, anything else that we can talk about Japan, like that you might not be so impressed or so happy, or maybe next year we can have a game somewhere closer, which is that can happen in Mexico, Puerto Rico, Dominicana.
Right.
Do you think that should be one of the places that should have opening day?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I feel like those countries have the possibility to even do it during the season. We have seen the Puerto Rico series, the Dominican series during the season. The reason why it's being so close to the States.
Yeah,
Now, for Japan, the reason why it has to be done before the season starts, it's just a long travel, the time difference. It is a 12-hour flight, 12-hour difference from here to LA. It's impressive, man. But these players are managing to still play the game. And, Mookie Betts is struggling with the flu-like symptoms right now. And he's going to try to give it out his best. But it's going to be interesting to see how these players react, because most of these guys are still trying to find their rhythm. It's
yeah,
still preseason for them, spring training. They're forced to play exhibition games, but in a way, they still count, and they count towards your stats. So it's kind of weird. It's just impressive to me. The more I see the Japanese talent, I'm like really impressed how well they play the game. And it's the reason why, since Hidonomo, since 1995, over 70 Japanese-born players have come to the MLB. And that's something impressive to say, because the game continues to grow there, and they teach them perfect baseball out there. That's why they're the
yeah,
WBC champs.
yeah, yeah. And you know
The
what?
world
More than
baseball
more
champs.
than 70 players. That's a lot.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
a
even
lot.
know that. That's good, man. That's good trivia. I didn't know that. Maybe we can ask that down the line, down the future. See, hey, do you remember how many players come from Japan? I'm like, 70. So
Yeah,
I'll
right.
try to stick that in the memory bank and try to remember that. But all right, let's move on, man. Let's talk about Rafael Devers. There's a lot of things happening out in Boston, whether you think so or not. When you hear the conversation and you hear the media asking him these questions, he looks a little irritated. He looks like he's kind of asked me those questions, but I want to get out of here because I don't want to talk about what I really feel. And what he really feels, the interpreter doesn't really say it. And I'll go ahead and play this clip so you guys can hear it.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And have you spoken, or how much have you spoken to Alex about where you'll play when the season starts?
Ya esa gente pueden hacer lo que quieran conmigo, ya yo le hablé con ellos, ya está todo claro, ya que sea lo que Dios quiera, lo mío es venir aquí, de poner mi trabajo, pero ya yo hablé lo que quería con ellos.
So when he says, I already talked to them like I needed to talk to them, when he says it in Spanish, he says ellos, meaning them. Like I talked to them already. They can do whatever they want to do with me, pretty much. The interpreter didn't say that. When the interpreter translates, and we understand that's his job. He needs to protect his job. He needs to protect the Boston Red Sox. He needs to protect MLB because those are his bosses. And he's doing right by Devers. But lucky for you guys, we speak Spanish, and we could honestly say that wasn't what was said. He said it with an attitude. He said it where I'm not comfortable here. They didn't talk to me, and this is the result. And I'm not happy, but I'm here. They can do whatever they want to do with me. Am I wrong?
No, you're totally right. I mean, I've read reports where he even considered asking for a trade.
Shit.
And it's something we didn't know. We'll never know what happened inside the office, right? What he told the GM and what he told ownership. But Rafael Devers is definitely not happy. His body language in this interview was just not there. He made it seem like, I told them my part, but they'll do whatever they want, right? That's not good for him. Down the road, if this doesn't turn out right, Carlos, wouldn't be surprised if Rafael Devers gets traded in the deadline. This is a lot of drama. It's not even season started, and the guy hasn't really played all spring training. He finally played yesterday for the first time. He's been dealing with some shoulder injuries from last season. So Berkman's been taking the third base the whole spring training. Is not looking good. I don't see him playing third base. And the way his body language was, looks like he's going to be watching it from the bench as a DH.
And this is crazy, dude. The interview's not even over yet. Let me go ahead and put the next part.
You know what the plan is? Is there a plan?
No, ya yo hablé, son cosas personales, son cosas que si lo digo aquí se van a ver vamos a ver un poco grosera, un poco mal de mi parte, pero ya yo tomé mi opinión y hablé con ellos lo que quería.
You want to take this one, or should I?
It's just funny to me how he said I don't want to say nothing grosero, which means I don't want to say nothing gross here. He that's what I'm saying. His body language is showing the other side. A lot of reports are saying the interpreter said this. He's agreed that he's willing to work with the team. That's not the case, man.
No.
He doesn't look happy, and he looks like he let it off on to the front office. So, what are your thoughts, man? You think this is gonna work out?
Dude, just looking at the body language and looking at how he answering those questions, he's just like when he says yo ya hablé con ellos, like I already talked to them, like like it's personal. It's I already have my personal stuff said to them. I already told them everything I feel about what's going on with the team. I'm the third baseman. I'm the leader of this team, but you went ahead and got a Gold Glove third baseman. So now I'm telling you how I felt, all my personal stuff, and whatever you guys decide to do, then it's you guys. Then I'm okay. And I'll play the last clip.
Can you tell us what it is?
No, es algo privado, es algo que hablé con el gerente y con el manager. No lo puedo decir aquí, por lo mismo que te dije, se va a ver muy feo.
No, I can't talk about it right now. The GM and the manager know where I stand.
So I left that last clip because I left the interpreter say his words and his piece. Like I said at the beginning, before we started this video, that he is going to say what it's good for the league and what's good for the team. But he does not look pleased. He's not happy. He looks like he's being a player that is going to do what the team tells him to do. And he did say in one of the clips, and I don't have it here, whatever God wants me to do, whatever God pretty much allows me to do. And when you say that in Spanish, you say, que sea lo que Dios quiera, meaning you're kind of saying, we're going to let it play out. And if they want to trade me because I'm not happy here, go ahead and do it. But that's reality, and that's what's going to happen. And it means so much. You get more deep into it when you start digging into the Spanish language, and we try to translate into English. And that's crazy, dude. I just felt like I feel kind of bad for Devers, dude. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, he's really in a tough situation right now. It looks like he's not going to be happy all season. He was promised a third base job till 2033 with the last previous GM. Now you bring Craig Breslow, and he has different ideas. He thinks that Devers is defensively not the answer there. So Boston's gonna do whatever it takes to win. And if Devers has to play DH, then that's gonna have to be the answer for them. But unfortunate, I don't sure what he could do. He's stuck there till 2033, and I feel like the Red Sox are either gonna trade him or just let him play DH the rest of his tenure there, because that's what you have to do as a baseball player. At the end of the day, they control your rights. You're under contract, and you have to do what's right.
That's true. And, we picked the Red Sox to win that division in the East. And having this drama before the season even starts, that's hard. It's really hard to think about. And that lineup, that potential lineup, when they're all happy, when they're all playing together, when they're all hitting, can do so much damage in the East and can win that East division. I hope he finds it. And I know Alex Bregman is a winner. He did it with the Astros. He could probably talk to him and be like, hey, you know what? This is your team. Or he's won a championship too. Both of them won the championship. Devers won it in 2018. And of course, we all know Bregman, how many championships he has with the Astros. So both are champions. Hopefully they can get it together and they can work something out, and they can be like, hey, you know what? We're both going to be playing third base. There's going to be a lot of room for Bregman to move to second and do all these changes. But man, it's too early for this.
Way too early. And I think it's just a frustration with Devers. He's dealing with an injury. He probably wants to be on the field, and he's watching the guy that may take his job playing all spring training. That's tough to see.
Yeah.
You being in the bench and just watching the other guy take your job, that's tough.
That is tough.
You're probably
dude.
ready to be out there,
You're ready to move on, and you're ready to be the captain out there. You've been the captain for the Red Sox, and now it's going to change. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the hats that's been out in stores, and then they removed them from the stores. And we all know which hat we're talking about. We're talking about the Texas Rangers. Do you want to know? Do you want to say what the Texas Rangers hat said in Spanish?
Yeah, unfortunate new era dropped the ball on this one. They brought a new type of hat, and the tetas made it to public, and people went crazy.
Yeah.
It's something in Spanish that we know that we probably shouldn't translate what it means in English, but it's one of those where it got taken out the market, and some people were able to buy it. Now, these hats are going for over $1,000 on eBay right now. It is amazing to me to see who in the world is purchasing these hats right now, Carlos.
Yeah.
Will you buy it for $1,000?
No, because we don't know how much it's going to be worth later on in the future. It's not one of those things where you're like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and cop it, and then they're not going to be producing anymore. But because they moved them off the shelves, now they're going to be like, they're not going to mass produce anymore.
Right?
So you have the hat, and now you're being, okay, well, I'm going to keep it in case it increases in value. But selling it for $1,000, that just seems too much. Seems too steep for me. That was in the only team that kind of dropped the ball. The Angels, that was another one, and the Astros was another one.
Yep.
So
I saw the A's one as well.
the Ace one wasn't good. So I got
These
a
were
question.
bad.
They
Let's
were.
just be honest. These hats were terrible. And if you're rocking one of these, I'm going to probably look at you a little different. Like, why in the world will you buy this hat?
Right? So what happened with QA here? They dropped the ball. They pretty like, oh, you know what? Just signed it off, pencil whip, pass it through, and we're good. But you look at the administration, you look at the MLB, top dogs, you look at all these people that, all these images go through. These images just doesn't go through the maker and they say the commissioner signs for it, done. No, it goes through so many faces. It goes through. All right, let's see who's making the hats. All right, you like this? Boom, let's sign it. All right, next team. Do you guys like this? Boom, sign it. And then next team, do you like it? Cool. And then it hits quality. Does it offend someone? The quality of the hat, is it good? What does it say? All right, well, we understand. Sign it off. And then the last one, it gets to the commissioner's desk and he's like, oh, I went through every step. All right, I'm good. I'll sign it. He's not checking. He's not allowed. He's not being like, oh, did QA did their job? Did did the producers do their job? Like, no. So it went through every step and they all signed off on it. And they all went and they said, this is good. But not knowing that some of these were, is it offensive? Is that the word? Is that the correct word of it?
I don't think it's offensive, but I could see why, why females would think it's offensive. Yeah, it goes both ways. But whoever did these hats, man, probably got fired. And it's unfortunate because these hats were not it. I don't know what New Era was thinking and how even MLB let this slide. Like you said, the idea was there, but it just didn't plan out. And it's tough because they look cool. But at the same time, once you get to read what it says, that's not the answer. That's not what we need for the game. MLB just continues to make these errors, man. Like it's either the uniforms, the hats. Every year we have some dilemma with the MLB and their gear. Either something goes wrong.
That's true. Well, let's talk about the Rays not having their stadium no more. That's it. They're pretty much saying that they're not going to spend on making another stadium when they need to spend on the old stadium to put a roof on their top. Remember, they're playing in Steinbrenner State. I think it's Steinbrenner Stadium, the minor league system for the Yankees. So they're playing there. On top of that, they still have to fix Tropicana Field, and they're just spending a lot of money. So they just said they're not going to spend new money on a new stadium. Does this suck for baseball, and does this suck for the fans of the Tampa Bay Rays and for Florida? Period.
Yeah, it definitely sucks. You're talking about a Tampa Bay fans that will love baseball. And you would ask yourself, no, they don't. They're never at Tropicana Field. It just happens to be that Tampa Bay Rays play in St. Petersburg, which is like 20 minutes away from Tampa. The problem is, in order to get to St. Petersburg, you have to take a bridge and a toll bridge. You have to cross. It's like if you're going by the Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
So it's not easy for your typical fan from Tampa, where most of the population's at, to get to St. Petersburg during weekday games. And now you have the Hurricane Milton. It affected the area significantly. And this is what caused the council to be like, we don't have enough money to spend. We're still recovering from all the hurricane damages. And this is where the owners stepped down. Unfortunately, we cannot spend the $1.5 billion deal. Now, The MLB owners and Rob Manfred are pushing to sell the team. They would love this guy, Stu Sternberg, to sell the team. He said the team is not for sale, but they already have buyers ready to go. So what do you think? Should they sell the team? I mean, poor guy. He's in a tough situation. He loves his Rays. He's doing his best for them. Unfortunately, they got hit by Hurricane Milton, and it affected the whole region. And like I said, it's not that Tampa Bay fans don't want to go to the game. It's just the difficulty getting there during the week. So I think they do have to think about going somewhere closer to Tampa or even Orlando for that reason, because that's where the most of the population is in the region.
True. And not only that, but you have the governor of Florida coming out saying that the Rays don't want to move. Their fan base don't want the Rays to move elsewhere. They don't want them to leave Florida. That's money coming in to the state of Florida, of course. And DeSantis said that, no, we want to keep the team here. We want the Tampa Rays to kind of find a way to make that stadium. We want them to go ahead and invest in that stadium, unless the government or the governor says, hey, we'll give you some of these funds and we'll make it a partnership to where we make it a vote. You know, they did that in San Diego where Petco is at. The city voted to try to get that stadium there and got a new stadium. So the taxpayers are paying for that stadium. So maybe something like that can happen out there in Tampa Bay, and it should happen. Maybe MLB needs to step in as well. We have all these teams leaving, you know, like the A's. They're going to play in a minor league stadium this year too, because they left the Coliseum because they got tired of it. So maybe something like that can happen to where they can help out and they can get that new stadium. But I think with Manfred trying to sell this team, I think this is the point where he's going to be like, I think this is where we draw the line and we need to find a new owner that's really going to invest on this team, because we've been seeing time and time again, even the Marlins, that they trade off really good players and they get nothing and they're stuck at the bottom of the barrel not making money. So, I mean,
it's a tough one, right? Because
is.
You can see the Rays owner was really trying to spend that $1.5 billion for the team. Unfortunately, they got hit by a Mother Nature, and a hurricane was not the answer. And it sucks. People in Tampa do love baseball. I want to make that clear. Just this weekend, the Savannah Bananas, if you guys are familiar, they're the MLB's Harlem Globetrotters for MLB. They had an event in Tampa this weekend. They sold out an NFL stadium at Raymond James Stadium where the Buccaneers play. Sold out crowd, over 50,000 people, Carlos, in Tampa.
That was a football stadium, right?
They filled it up, sold out. What are your thoughts on that? So that tells you people love baseball. It's just, it has to be moved. The stadium where they were going to build it was going to be like closer to downtown Tampa, where it was going to be closer to where all the, the more popular spots at. But when you're in St. Petersburg, where you have to drive out of your way, take a bridge, take a toll, that's not easy for the average fan.
It's not. And to add to that, I'm going to go ahead and say baseball is becoming something where it's an entertainment. And when you look at Savannah Bananas play baseball, I think Manfred talked about the golden at bat. And that's something that we haven't talked about. They're thinking about implementing and changing the game. Are you with that? Are you with the golden at bat idea? And if for those of you guys that don't know what that is, the golden bat idea is to have, if you have 2 outs in the 9th inning, and let's just put SHOHEI OHTANI, since he's the main attraction right now. He strikes out the last at bat, and let's say you still have your golden at bat. You can go ahead and, you know what? I'm going to have him bat again. And you can remove whoever was batting after him, and you can put SHOHEI OHTANI in that spot. And do you like that idea, Ernie?
Man, it sounds like fun. But as a baseball fan, and I'm usually okay with change. In this one, I don't like it. I don't like the golden bat rule, guys. Unfortunately, I just feel like it's kind of not that it's cheating, but I like to see it in other places. How about in the WBC? How about we do it there? But not in the MLB.
Not in the MLB?
I don't like the change, man. It's not fair, Like, what if, then what if this team doesn't have like your typical Ohtani? It's not fair for that team. Especially when your starter went 9 innings strong and he's about to get a shutout and you get to call Ohtani just because you have the golden bat rule. Is that okay?
I mean, look, if we're trying to innovate and trying to become one of those fan bases where we're like, okay, let's keep it the old school, but the old school didn't attract new players. Look, I'm old school. You know this. You know that
Yes.
I'm old school, and I have a problem with the new rules that have implemented. But I come around. I already said that's cool. Do it. We don't even talk about the time anymore, and that's already implemented. We don't even talk about the big bases. We don't talk about it at all. Now we're talking about the strike zone. And we haven't talked about it since the first episode we started this show. Why? Because it's working. So I think if you do it until we see it, I think we'll be able to say, you know what? You know what? It's not cool. It's not cool. Or, damn, that's pretty cool because they were down 3-0 and there was 2 men on base and they brought this guy, hit a home run, tied the game. And then they came in the 10th inning and won the game for themselves. What a game, right?
Yeah, for
So,
real. So you're talking about there's going to be so much comeback games, so many blown saves. Poor
yeah.
closers, they're done with. You know, they're going to be like, at this point, just bring your best arm at that point because there's no point in having a closer.
No, you're just gonna have to match up and be like, you know what, you already faced them, you stroke them out, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and take my chances and get another pitcher in before he hits it out from you. Because seeing more than 6 pitches or 7 pitches from a pitcher, the hitter is smart. These hitters are in the MLB for a reason. They're up there because they can recognize pitches and can actually hit them to wherever they want to hit it, and that's how it makes these freaking hitters amazing, dude. I just feel like that's the
Yeah,
crazy
I
part.
mean, you're right. This golden bat rule will benefit a lot of teams and much needed. We have Chicks Who Love Baseball, golden ticket. What is this? Willy Wonka. Next thing we have robot we can bring in. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, we're pretty much heading that way if you think about it. Robots may take over the MLB one day. You know, you never know. There's a
yeah,
lot of changes. Rob Manfred has definitely said the golden bat rule is not coming. He brought up the idea, and a lot of people gave him crap for it, unfortunately. You know, I
yeah,
feel like, people should have a vote. If,
yeah,
the commissioner has an idea, throw it out there, and then people get to decide.
yeah. I think so too. I think we should get to a point where we vote for certain things. Why not try it and just vote for the spring training? And if it works in spring training, boom, implement it. Let's do it. If people fall in love with it, that's the result of it. We get people to watch spring training and get excited for the season because of these new rules that are happening. So that can happen. So if the Savannah Bananas can sell out a football stadium to play one game and they have all these different rules and they're having fun, let's try to implement some of those things in the spring training to get people excited for it. So when baseball season comes, we can say, well, they tried in spring training and it didn't work out. So,
Yeah,
right? It could spark conversation about baseball. So that'll be amazing,
definitely,
dude.
definitely.
So
So
we'll
yeah,
wait
it's
what
not coming
happens.
anytime soon, but it would be a great idea, and I think we have to see it just to get to experience how a game would be played out with the golden bat rule.
Yeah,
You know,
that
unfortunately, Savannah Bananas are doing this, but you know that they're not professionals like that. They're not the top tier level talent that we've seen the MLB players be. You know,
nah, nah, true. All right, let's move on to our last topic. And our last topic is the Nashville Stars. Seems like there's going to be a potential expansion team in Nashville, and their logo is right there. So I kind of like the logo. I like the hat. I like the colors. And I mean, what do you think about the Nashville Stars having a potential expansion team in MLB in the near future?
I think it's great for the game of baseball. You know, I think 32 teams is the answer for me. I think we should be able to expand to 2 more teams. Nashville Stars, if you guys want to know the history about it, it's actually a team that comes from the Negro League back in the 1950s. You know, it was a minor league team. It was part of the Negro League, and it has a lot of rich history in the city of Nashville. So I think it's great for the game of baseball to remember all the past we've had in this MLB game. You know, these were guys that never got to play in the MLB, and now this team could represent and be part of the MLB. So that would be awesome.
I think so too, man. And it's not the only city or already only team that might be able, like Ernie said, it's not going to only be 31. It's going to be 32. You have to keep it equal and you have to balance out the league. So there's potential teams might be able to come from Puerto Rico. Canada again might be the Expos. A lot of people are thinking about Canada having another team, which were the Expos. If you weren't born in that era or that time where you don't know who the Expos were, they're the Nationals now. They moved to Washington. So that could probably be it, and that could be probably a good potential expansion. Then you're looking at Mexico, another team that's looking into try to get a baseball team. They were talking about Monterrey, and in 2018, if you guys don't remember, the Padres and Dodgers played out there in Monterrey, and Fernando Valenzuela threw out the first pitch. It was a big thing. So they were saying that that's not too far from Texas. It's not too far from California. It's a 3-hour flight, and it's doable. So they could probably do that as well. And then you're talking about Portland, another city that can potentially have an expansion team that's never had a baseball team, and they do have basketball. They do have do they have hockey out there?
No hockey.
They have soccer. They have the MLS.
Yes.
And their fan bases are pretty big. So if they have a baseball team out there, I think it's going to be a great. But Nashville, since they already have their logo out there, is that a city that deserves to have a team? Talking about money wise, do you think that's one of the growing economies out there?
Yeah, it definitely is. And that's one of the main reasons why I think they're pushing for it. A lot of people are moving to Nashville these days. It looks like it's a new spot to be at in the East Coast. And wouldn't be surprised if Nashville has some investors out there willing to bring this team into the market. And if it's going to sell, why not? And if you want to continue to grow the game, this is the best opportunity to do this. You're already bringing out your hats. And I bet they already have a stadium in mind for this MLB team. So this will be great. And to remember all the rich history the game of baseball has brought to us, I think this is a perfect example. A black and white hat. That looks amazing, man, if you think about it. And yeah. I think I have a new team I could root for, because these Angels ain't doing nothing great. So I have to choose a second team.
Oh, no, man. So you're talking about the black and white. The only team that I know right now is the White Sox, and they have a badass freaking uniform. I love the black and white. I even like the City Connects, which they're going to remove from their uniforms this year. And they're going to have new City Connects. But I think that one's, when you're looking at black and white, I think it's a nice color. It's intimidating. It brings old school baseball into the new school. And it's nice, dude. I just like the hat. And you think they will keep the white hat, though?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They have to. That would be sick. Once you get it dirty a little bit, that's going to even look cool,
Like I played in it. So yeah, look, I played in the hat.
It's worth more money once it gets dirty,
Once it gets dirty, you're right, dude.
But it's great. I think we need more teams. You're talking about we're the only league of the 4 major sports that does have 30 teams. Expanding to 2 more teams wouldn't make a huge difference. And if anything, it would improve the game even more. And just continue to have more places to go, more stadiums. There's talking about a lot of people have already experienced all 30 MLB stadiums. Give the fans a chance to go to 2 more. Why not? Bring one to the West Coast and bring one to the East Coast. I think it's fair. And either if it's Portland or Utah on our West Coast side, that would be nice. And I think Nashville deserves it. I know Montreal, we've had it in the past, but, I think it's ready to see a new city in the States.
Okay. All right. And I got to ask you this because the Nashville Stars, is that name set? Is that going to be the name of the team?
I think so. I mean, there's already a hockey team with the name Dallas Stars. So I think it would be a good reason to keep Nashville Stars. And it remembers the Negro League team from the 50s.
Bringing that into the mix, I think it's value because now you're adding the Negro League players to go into the Hall of Fame. And this represents that. And that gives it a little bit more of like, all right, we have one of the teams. We have plenty of teams that were from the Negro Leagues. I'm not saying they weren't, but you talking about integrating all the Hall of Famers and everything and all the history of baseball and having this team from Nashville. And like you said, there's a growing market. I think they should look into it and try to get it done before. I think they're going to try to do it before 2028, man. And I think that's the deadline to see if they can get an expansion team and try to get the other team as well. So is it going to be in the National League or in the American League?
That's a good question. It's going to be a toss-up. As you guys know, you could either be from the East Coast or the West Coast, and you could still be in either league. So that's what's beautiful about baseball, It's not your Eastern against Western. No, it's all spread out. And it doesn't matter what part of New York. You could either be the Mets and be in the National League, or you could be the Yankees and be in the American League, which is awesome.
And I think this is where it's going to happen to where you have 16 teams in the National League and 60 teams in the American League. Now it's going to break down to different divisions. Now you're going to look at Are the Angels going to be in the same division as the Dodgers? The Padres going to be in that division? And we've talked about this a lot of times. When
Well,
these
okay.
expansion teams come into this league, I think that's what's going to happen. Or
Yeah.
do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely think so because now you're talking about you're going to bring an extra team, and where are they going to go? Are they going to go to the American League East, the West, or the Central? Now
Yeah.
you're going to talk about one division is going to have an extra team. Is that fair for that division?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So that would ask for the MLB to change their whole rules now.
Yeah.
You may just have to do 1 through 16, and the top 6 teams make it to the playoffs now.
It's kind of like the basketball, right?
Right?
Where they have their top teams and they that's how they play, and that's how they will go into the playoffs. But there's another I guess a lot of people were talking about, and this was happening last year. I haven't heard it so much this year, but maybe that will start up again because we start seeing this Nashville Stars becoming the team that can be the expansion team. So you have 4 teams belonging to the West in the National League, 4 teams belonging to the West in the American League, and then you move to the Central, and then you have the mid, or I forget what it's called, and then the East.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you become your 16 and 16, and whoever the top of those 4 divisions, go into the playoffs, and then you have 2 wild cards from each league. So you have what is it? Damn, I lost track. 6 teams making the playoffs from each league. Now you have a National League that makes sense. Now you have an American League that makes sense. Because right now it doesn't make sense. The DH kind of screwed all that stuff up.
It really did. You're talking about even if you add 2 more teams, that means you have to add 2 more teams to the playoffs.
Yeah. More
So
playoff baseball.
It's going to expand the game even more. More games, more playoffs.
That means more nail biting and more not sleeping at night. I'm like, oh man, who do we got tonight? Oh, Dan, really? We got this Kurt Schilling going tonight. That's gonna be crazy, dude. It's gonna be cool. But until we get news into when that's gonna happen, we'll go ahead and say it here. I forgot to put this on here, and I should have done it at the beginning of the show. But if you haven't done so, go ahead and follow us on all our platforms. We do have Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and TikTok. And of course, here on YouTube, you guys can subscribe. And we're trying to grow to 1,000 first and possibly get to 2,000. If you guys can help us with that, well, we really appreciate it. Ernie will appreciate it. And of course, we have the guys on Thursday nights giving us tips and tricks to win our fantasy. And Will and John, they have all this stuff for you guys. Don't forget to tune into that show as well. Anything else that we need to talk about, Ernie? We still got a little bit of time, but I mean, we went through all our topics today, and thank you guys for the questions and all the stuff on there. We really appreciate it, like always. But anything else you want to mention?
Oh, I have something to bring up today. Breaking news. Joey Gallo. He just got cut by the White Sox today.
Damn.
Unfortunately, the guy continues to struggle, but he just announced on his social media that he will be trying out to become a pitcher.
Man, how tall is he? How tall is that man? He's a tall ass dude. Imagine pitching.
Dude.
Yeah,
He's gonna
imagine
be a
him.
now.
So he's just gonna try out to be a pitcher.
Yep, he said forget playing, becoming a batter now. He's making a change and is gonna become a pitcher. You think he got it?
I don't know, dude.
He's a 2-time Gold Glover from right field.
I've seen him throw the ball. He throws like 90 something from the outfield to home plate. You're talking about 64 inches away from home plate. You're going to be throwing gas. As tall as that man is, I think he'll do great. I mean, location, you have to find your location. You have to find different pitches. Is he going to do it with the White Sox, though?
I think he's going to try out. It's for all teams to watch him play and see how he pitches. But You're right. He is going to throw some gas. He probably throws over 90-something miles an hour fastball. Great. Now, can he control it? That's where it matters the most, right? How does his mechanics look? Because that's a big dude who's worked out to become a batter. When you're a pitcher, you have different workouts.
Yeah.
You focus on different muscles, a different approach, and mechanics. He was a pitcher in high school. Just want to throw that out there. Yeah. He did have a no-hitter. I just read that he threw a no-hitter as a kid. But this is a different ball game. This is the MLB, and he's going to have to build this game up again. I think he has a possibility of being signed by a minor league team. Now, for him to make it to the majors, he's going to take him a couple seasons before he gets up there and continues to have success.
We've seen pitchers transform into outfielders like Rick Ankiel that was with the Cardinals. Yeah, got the yips. I don't know if you guys know what that is. He just couldn't find the strike zone anymore. They moved him out to the outfield, and he can rake. He was hitting home runs,
Yeah.
throwing people out from dead center all the way home plate. That's the longest throw in baseball. And
That was the
like,
Shohei of our time growing up.
yeah, because he was doing it all. So when he does that, and I think transitioning to become a pitcher, that's what's just really hard. That's where it becomes where it's like, damn, is he going to be able to throw strikes? And I read too that he pitched in high school. He has that mentality. He has that notion of what to do out there. It's not like he's going to go out there and he's going to be lost. It's going to be weird to see him because
Yeah.
we know to see him in the outfield. I remember when I went to Dodger Stadium and I got to see him play, and I saw, damn, that's a huge ass dude. Like, what the hell? And he can move that way. Are you kidding me? Now watch him like pitching and that height. Man, that's gonna be scary.
Yeah, unfortunately, the guy couldn't find the strike zone anymore as a batter. I feel like his timing was off. He had some pop when he was in Texas, and once he got traded to the Yankees and shaved off that beard, he lost his mojo, man. He wasn't the same guy and never found his bat again. And he continues to struggle. Nationals last year, he got cut. This year, he tries out for minor league. The White Sox didn't even want him. Imagine that.
True. Ryan Reyes, how's it going, man? I just want to say what's up. I know you're somewhere else, but thanks for watching, tuning in. Neto, thanks for doing Chicks Who Loves Baseball. Thanks for tuning in, and everybody else that's on there that are pretty shy and not want to comment. We really appreciate it that you're on here. But yeah, going back to that, I just think that it's going to be crazy to see this man go out to the field and throw flame, and I can't wait to see that to happen. Hopefully, he does make it in MLB. But when you get cut by the White Sox, that means that you really suck because
No.
I mean, the White Sox are the team. And look, I respect all ball players. It's one of those things where, to me, making it to the major leagues, no matter how bad you are and how, like, bad you look striking out, you get to the major leagues, you have my respect, and I would always respect anybody that makes it to the MLB. And if I say that you suck, it's just because you're on the team that needs players right now, needs something to be happy about. The White Sox are not a team where you're like, damn, those White Sox look like they could do something this year. No, they don't.
They have nobody, dude.
They have
It looks
nobody.
bad. I feel bad for Chicago fans, and to continue to not do anything out there for their fans, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Luis Robert could have a MVP type season and change something up out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Gallo,
Yeah.
Joey Gallo. I don't know why I've always been calling him Gallo since I was a little kid, but it's Gallo.
It's Gallo. Gallo.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, the guy, hopefully he can make it as a pitcher.
And
That's all
we'll
I can
see.
say.
We'll be here once he does, like I said,
Yeah.
and we'll put, if he does make it to the MLB, we'll put highlights. So yeah, I think we reached that point in time, Ernie. Unless you have something else to say, I'm good, but you can say your last mentions.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and hope you guys can hit that like and subscribe and continue to grow our channel. We'll be here every Sunday from 7 p.m. going on, and we'll hope to catch you guys here at the Power Hour Baseball Show with Real Talk Baseball, Carlo Baseball, and me. Always a great time, Carlos.
Yeah, always talking baseball, man. And don't forget to watch the game on Tuesday morning at 3 a.m. and then Wednesday, 3 a.m. as well. We're gonna get to see that one, Ernie, going to work probably. So we'll probably
Opening
get
day.
to enjoy opening
Is that
day.
our opening day?
That's our opening day, I guess. That's what's gonna happen. Dodgers Cubs. Who do you guys got? Put it on the messages. Or put it on our platforms.
Dodgers
Reach
sweeping,
out to us,
baby.
guys.
Dodgers are gonna sweep. Who are we kidding? Are you guys really giving the Cubs a chance? Really?
It could happen. Baseball works in tricky ways, dude. It's not just about having
You
it
guys
on
are the
paper.
champs for a reason. Ain't got
They're-
even better. There's
Well,
no
look.
way you guys are gonna lose 2 games.
No, okay, they're the champs, but baseball is different than any other sport, man. I'm just saying.
Roki,
There's
this is Shohei's homecoming, dude. He's not losing.
I agree. I don't think he should lose. I don't think he should lose, but there's other 8 players that need to show up and need to put out and need to try to make those runs scored. Remember, they got shut out yesterday, 3-0 against the Tigers. So
Actually, Tigers look nice.
they look good. So there's going to be players
Those bats look
from
pretty
that
cold,
team.
and I'm like, I was gonna tell you, hey, what's up with your Dodgers? But I was trying to remind myself, it's only March, Carlo. It's nothing to worry about right now. We'll
They're,
worry
they're,
back in
they're,
October.
they're trying to speed up to try to get ready for the season, and they're still in spring training mode. And this is the only objection I have with going out to another country and start the season, because their spring training's cut a little short. I know they're coming back and they're still going to have the freeway series. They're still going to do a little bit of spring training, but you have to go into the mode of, I need to go into season mode and then back to spring training mode and then back to opening season mode. And it's like that's crazy, dude. They did that last year. They did it last year. So this is where I kind of feel like, can it happen another time? Maybe the All-Star time, All-Star team time. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
We can
Shohei's
have
that big of a global impact. He has to go home. I
that
just
mark.
wish he would have played his old team, the Nippon Ham Fighters, this weekend
fine.
for next
Yeah,
division game.
I think that would have been a lot more. They would have made more money. Dude, they're making a lot of money off of this right now. A
Dude,
lot
Tokyo
of money.
Dome, yeah. Did you see there was 10,000 fans just watching the Dodgers practice?
Just practice.
We're talking
Imagine
about practice. Allen Iverson.
how much does that ticket cost?
Who knows?
$1,000?
Will you pay for a practice?
No. Why would I? No, that's no. I would never pay for a practice. Maybe we're just so
Okay, but what if
go
I
ahead.
told you this may be the only chance you ever get to see an MLB player like Shohei practicing or like being up that close to him?
I think
Yeah, you would.
I think we're so privileged to watch these players right now that we're kind of like, no, I wouldn't do it. But if we put ourselves in other people's shoes from around the country or
Yeah.
other countries, then you'll be like, hell yeah, I need to go see this man. He's the Babe Ruth of our generation. We
Mhm.
need to be there. Dude, I've told you a lot of times here. I went to the Angels game to watch OHTANI pitch and hit. So,
Yeah.
so I was privileged to see that. So I mean, yeah,
And only baseball people did that, Carlos, because you're not even an Angel fan, but you
No.
knew what Otani brought to the game, and you had to see it firsthand to see if this guy was a real deal.
and
And
he
did he
was
prove
the
it
real
to you
deal.
first start?
Hell yeah, dude. He went 6 innings with no hits.
Yeah.
6
A guy that
innings.
was outed coming from Japan, remember? Oh,
Yeah.
he looks like he'll be the next just a minor leaguer. That's what they
Yeah.
said about him.
Yeah.
No, he
Yeah.
became a star
He
and
became
took
a
over
star.
the MLB.
Exactly. Imagine you would have got his autograph right there and then.
Damn. Dude, I saw Shohei up and close, and I regret not having enough film footage on my phone for that. I was just so locked in. I couldn't believe I was watching Shohei behind the dugout and first row. And to this day, I was like just shocked. I never thought in my life I would sit behind the dugout watching Shohei pitch against the Blue Jays. That was an amazing experience, and I just regret not being on my phone more and having more content to remember to this day. I could just watch the highlights and just watching myself. That's like it's crazy.
But you are going to have those stories to tell your grandkids and say, you know what, OHTANI, I got to see him play. I got to
Yeah.
see that man hit home run, pitch. I got to see him play on that field. And how many generations we're going to go through without them seeing an OHTANI, a Babe Ruth? We didn't get to see, like a lot of people's in the 50s all the way to 2015 didn't see a Babe Ruth. They didn't see a
Exactly.
Babe Ruth, and we're experiencing it right now. That's amazing.
I've been talking to a lot of baseball fans, and when they told me, "Oh, I only watch baseball during the playoffs because that's fun," I remind them, "Are you a Dodger fan?" They're like, "Yes." I tell them, "You have to watch every single Dodger game." They're like, "Why?" Why? Because this is the best Dodger team has ever been built in history. Like you're watching greatness.
Yeah.
This Dodger team will be talked about for the years to come,
Yeah.
decades.
Yeah.
This is going to be in the history book as one of the greatest teams ever assembled. If you're a Dodger fan, you got to watch every single game because every single game matters. Why?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to beat these champs, and they may potentially be the greatest dynasty ever built. So
Yeah.
if you're a Dodger fan out there, just want to let you know, watch every game. It matters.
It matters. And you know what? You took the words out of my mouth, because I've said this before, where the Yankees were the team where they made 6 or 7 consecutive World Series in a row back in the days. That was a team to watch with the Yankees. And now we're getting to experience this with the Dodgers, a team that if you're a Dodger fan, you get to follow, you get to see these games, you get to go to Dodger Stadium and experience it. Man, you need to go ahead and watch these games. Why? Because those games are not going to be given to you. We're only 9 years away from OHTANI retiring and not playing anymore. And this team is not going to last forever. They're not going to be elite. That's why I keep telling my son, watch the games. Why? Because we're not guaranteed an elite team every year. We're not. And this, for me, this is really new. Like the 2000s, the Dodgers really sucked. They struggled. They didn't play well. And now they're getting to this point where they're playing really well. Dude, it's crazy.
It went from times where people would just give out tickets for free.
Yeah.
Hey, who wants to go to the Dodger game? I have extra tickets. Nobody wanted to go. You're talking about it's the hottest ticket in town.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be at a Dodger Stadium. They're freaking expensive. They're not easy to just go to any game now. And that's why I always go to the crosstown rivals Angels, because it's much affordable.
Yeah.
And get to watch baseball.
So
yeah, Ryan said he's going to be at the Dodgers Angels preseason game in March 24th. Maybe I'll take a little trip out there to Anaheim and go visit you, man, because it's time to go watch some Angels play the Dodgers. For some reason, the Angels just play way better when they face the Dodgers. I don't know what it is. That's how every team is, though. They face the Dodgers and they want to compete.
They bring their A game. And dude, when you have a team like that, you have to bring your A game. It elevates your game to a different level. It brings out your potential, and we'll get to see good baseball. And that's amazing. All right, we did reach that time. And dude, that was a really good topic at the end. I really like that.
We just kept rambling. Sorry, guys.
It was good. No, it wasn't
rambling. Baseball.
No, it wasn't rambling. I think it was a good, legit conversation. And I think getting ready to go into the baseball season on Tuesday, the Dodgers play the Cubs. I think this is amazing that we did that. So from all of us here, Real Talk Baseball, I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Ernie Orange. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.